So now looking at all of me again, thinking, I'll just kind of walk you through how I think through it. I started off on C. How about I start here instead? I'll go to the third. Maybe I need a whammy bar. And then to E. Just change that one note. Yeah, the root and third. And then maybe now I've got the fifth and root of A. See what I've done there? And then we got D minor. So maybe I go to get to D minor. And all I did was I went to the 6th fret of the B string. So yeah, that's where D minor. And now we got E7, right? So how about I do this? Which is E. Cool. Yeah, that's the root in 5th. And then next we have, what, A minor. So what if I just did this? Yeah. And then what if I go, which is the 3rd and the flat 7 of D. And next we got D minor. So what if I do this? Which is the flat 3rd and the 7. And now we've got G. So how about I could do a lot of things. I could do this. That sounds nice. So I've got the flat 7 and the 3rd. That's the 6th fret of the B string and 7th fret of the E string. And then we're gonna go to C. So I'm gonna do a C major 7, and I'll go. Yeah, and then I've got the jazzy kind of thing. But if I wanted to be more resolved, I would have not done the major 7. I would have done the root. Like this. So I've got the 3rd and the root. And that would have sounded more resolved. So my whole thing with the root at the end would have been like this. C, E, A, D minor, E7, A minor, D7, D minor, G7, C. And see how we came home at the end? Okay, now if you were to do it at the end like this, it doesn't sound quite resolved because what you're hearing now almost sounds minor. Like, this is kind of what I'm hearing in my mind. But in reality, it was this. So what you can do is, like, it's definitely jazzier. You resolving with a major 7 like that. You know? But if your listener is into that, or more importantly, if you're into that, you could do it. Otherwise, it might be something that you reserve for when you have a bass player, or if you're playing the roots. Like if I were playing the roots, I could do this: C, E, A, D minor, E7, A minor, D7, D minor, G7, C. And now it sounds resolved. It just sounds jazzy, but it sounds resolved. Because the root was there, and the roots are important. But now is the root in the bass, yeah? Now, let's say I wanted to do good voice leading, because this is what this is. This is good voice leading. There's only one thing that kind of bothers me a little bit, but I'll leave it for now. But some of this is really cool. To me, that's like, ooh, that's really pretty. So here's what I could do if I wanted to make it, if I wanted to make the bass line more like a better voice leading, like this. C. Maybe I'll move it down, because this is the 5th of E. So this sounds cool if it's like, sounds heavy, but like if we're going to think of it as voice leading, We want like small movements, small steps, a half step instead of a minor sixth, you know? So, flat 6. See, I did it. All right, so C. Then I move it down to the 5th of E7. And you can hear that voice leading sounds nice. Next we have an A chord, so I'll just do A. So I went, right? And now I have a D. I could just jump up to D like that. Or I could have stayed on A and been doing the 5th if I wanted. Actually, I could have gone back up to C. That sounds beautiful because it sounds like a C sus chord, sort of. But it's actually a D minor. Inverted. You see what I mean? Like if we have a D minor chord, we can play a C as a bass line, and it's a third inversion, which usually sounds really tense. But in this case, it sounds like it's reharmonized because it makes it. It's so tense that it almost broken barrier where it sounds like a new chord. So we had C to E to A, and then I'll go back to C. Man, that sounds like millions of dollars, and like you can make. And then it sounds like gospel, sort of. It sounds. You know what? The moment you start having good voice leading, you start to get that Bach thing, where it's like you just like your arms throw back in your chest, you know, and then you just elevate to the sky, like and rotate. That's what Bach. And like in the clouds part, and the sun beams down on you, and you just like, dude, check it out. You're going up. You know? Oh my God. Oh, it's so beautiful. Holy smokes. Okay, so what comes next was E7. Well, if I wanted to keep this going, I could move it back down a fret. Right? But I'm going to move it up here. Same note. I'm just moving it because I had this in the high voicing. Next we had A minor 7 again, so it's A again. Oh man, so look what we have now. Here's the bass doing. Played C, B, A, C, B, A, even though the chord progression is going C, E, A, D, and all that. And so it creating a cool, like, you could like, I mean, All of Me is turning into a new song, right? You'd be like if something, you know, or you could put that on the upbeats, like, you know, like a, you know, so it'd be like, you know, but it wouldn't sound like polka, you know, like it does there. Like if you did it like, if you had the frequencies move that far where a bass is going like, you know, and you're going, or you know, it could be really cool. Or you could arpeggiate them a little bit where you're like a, or like the possibilities are so limitless. All right, so let's see where we go from there. Now here, next we have a D7, right? Or 1, 2, let's see, C, E, A, D minor, E, A. And now D7. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to C, because C is the flat 7. And I'm going to keep the notes that we had originally, which were these two. So I've got the D7. All right. And next we have a D minor 7. I'm going to leave it there because it's still the flat 7. And next we have a G7. So I'm going to move this down because now this note is the 3rd of G. And then we had the notes we had before, which are the flat 7 and the third. And then I'm going to move it back up for the C. If I want the jazzier one, I have the major 7 as the root. I mean the major 7 in the high voice. Or if I want it resolved, I could play. So that last part, D7, D minor 7, G7 to C. Or the jazzy one, where I go G7 to C major 7. See what's going on here? Yeah, so now the bass line went like this from the beginning. C, B, A. Again, it went C, B, A. And then it went C, C again, B, C. And that's what worked over the progression of the C, all of me. Over. That's the bass line. All together sound like this. Or like.